This is probably going to go against everything you thought about EVs and the cost. Not the cost of the EV, not the price tag, not the savings you'll get from having to avoid the gas station, but actually the production costs of EVs. According to a research firm, EVs will be cheaper to produce than gas-powered vehicles by 2027. That sounds surprising and unrealistic. Thanks to new manufacturing methods that are lowering production costs, according to a market research firm called Gartner, battery electric vehicles will be on average cheaper to produce than a comparable internal combustion engine by 2027. Gartner expects production costs to drop considerably faster than the cost of batteries, which are the most expensive part of an EV and account for about 40% of the vehicle's price. They say their analysis was driven by innovations that simplify production costs, such as centralized vehicle architecture or the introduction of gigacastings that help reduce manufacturing costs and assembly time. Gigapresses are massive casting machines pioneered by U.S. market leader Tesla to make large single pieces of vehicle underbodies, streamline production, and reduce the work of robots. This new technology means BEVs will reach ICE cost parity much faster than initially expected, but at the same time, it will make some repairs of BEVs considerably costlier. The market research firm expects the average cost of repairing an EV body and battery after a serious accident to rise 30% by 2027, and that could make vehicles suffering a collision more prone to a total write-off. As Gartner added that the repair costs could cost more than the residual value. High costs tied to repairing EVs are already a concern among potential buyers, maybe like yourself. The research firm said that there could be a consumer backlash if reductions in production costs come at the expense of higher repair costs. It also expects about 15% of EV companies founded since the last decade will be acquired or bankrupt by 2027. Quote, "This does not mean that EV sector is crumbling. It is simply entering a new phase where companies with the best products and services will win over the remaining." So former President Donald Trump secures what many people think will be his third term in November. Biden's EV policies could face some significant changes, which may impact you when it comes to car buying in the future. Trump is now the representative for the Republican Party, most likely. He maintains that EVs, he says, are not yet fully practical for widespread use and raises concerns about existing structural limitations, even though we are slowly building up the infrastructure more and more each month. He says here, quote, "I'm not opposed to electric cars, but let's be realistic about their current limitations." He said this on a CNBC interview. Issues like range, cost, and production locations need to be addressed. Now, Trump's past characterizations of EVs as a, quote, hoax, and his warnings of potential negative impacts on the auto industry and jobs have drawn a lot of attention. Maybe it draws your attention. He has pledged to reverse Biden's EV policies if he returns to office, bringing this possibility closer to reality. During the CNBC interview, he also expressed concerns about the readiness of the nation's infrastructure for a widespread transition to EVs. Quote, "The transition to EVs requires careful consideration of infrastructure challenges. For the automotive industry and the future of EVs, Trump's stance presents both opportunities and challenges. While some of his concerns may warrant attention, there is also the risk of regulatory setbacks for EV initiatives. Of particular concern is the potential for a rollback of federal support for EV infrastructure projects, including initiatives like the federal EV tax credit and funding from the bipartisan infrastructure law. Such policy changes could impede the progress of EVs in the U.S. Automakers are also adapting to evolving market dynamics, exploring hybrid options, and investing in charging infrastructure. However, the uncertain policy environment under a potential Trump presidency adds complexity to their strategic planning. So a lot is riding this November. As this approaches, the November election, The trajectory of EV policies in America remains uncertain. The outcome will be significantly influenced by the future landscape of the automotive industry and the broader adoption of EVs. So that is the big concern, isn't it? Is the tax credit. If that gets rolled back. What do you think about this stance that former President Trump is taking and what this could mean moving forward in 2025? Love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Today's video is brought to you by The Cold Plunge. Use discount code DAVE150 at checkout at thecoldplunge.com. Immediately save $150 off your purchase. That's DAVE150 at thecoldplunge.com. There's also a link below this video.
One final note, if you are in the market for a new vehicle soon, great. Connect with your local dealership and price and test drive at least 3 different vehicles. A vehicle's strengths and weaknesses can only be discovered when you are behind the wheel. My reviews can be good, but you need to test drive these yourself. Visit quotes.everymandriver.com, select the make, model, and your zip code, and you'll get invoice pricing in your area on those vehicles. Shop smarter with price quotes at quotes.everymandriver.com.
Thanks for watching. Please click subscribe and give us a thumbs up. See you next time.